Good afternoon, everyone. Kindly mute yourself and switch off your video. Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting the webinar shortly. We are just waiting for our eminent speaker. I request you all to please mute yourself and switch off your video. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Technotic shift in society and business occurs when unexpected events force widespread experiment around a new idea. Right now, the coronavirus pandemic is forcing global experimentation with remote teaching. There are many indicators that this crisis is going to transform many aspects of life, and education is one of them. Now, the question arises, could the move to online learning be the catalyst to create a new, more effective method of educating students? While some worry about the hasty nature of the transition online may have hindered this goal, others plan to make e-learning part of their new normal after experiencing the benefits firsthand. To discuss the same, Jagannath Institute of Education welcomes you all to the international webinar on transition to online learning ways ahead. I would like to welcome our guest of honor, Professor Dhananjay Joshi, Dean, University School of Education, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University. A gold medalist in B.Ed and M.Ed who did his PhD from Delhi University. He is the founding faculty member of University School of Education. With a teaching experience of over 20 years, he has been guiding M.Ed and PhD scholars since 2008. He has written various books on education and valuable research articles in reputed journals. A man of distinct vision and fountainhead of illuminating ideas, an idol of knowledge, experience, and inspiration to all of us. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Bhavna. Thank you very much, Bhavna.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Naval Jaggi, faculty in Singapore University of Social Sciences and University of Newcastle, Australia, in the Singapore campus. He has over 12 years of teaching experience. He did his civil engineering from IIT New Delhi and his master's in environment engineering from Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Bhavna. It's a pleasure to join back to one's country's alma mater. And I hope we have an exciting session.
Sure, sir. Honored, sir, to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to invite our principal, Professor Rekha Mahajan, our mentor, our guiding light, for a brief address. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all. On behalf of Jagannath Institute of Education, I extend a very warm and cordial welcome to our guest of honor, Professor Dhananjay Joshi ji, Dean, University School of Education, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University of Delhi. Professor Dhananjay Joshi ji has been the pillar of strength and success of the educational programs at our university. I am grateful for his constant support and guidance to us in all endeavors. And I'm indebted for him having honored our request to be present as the guest of honor for the occasion. Once again, a very warm and cordial welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Rekha ji.
Thank you, sir. Again, a cordial welcome to our expert, Mr. Naval Jaggi, who has been involved in online education at the Singapore University of Social Sciences for the past 6 years. His expertise will be an enriching experience for all of us. Welcome, Mr. Naval Jaggi, once again.
My pleasure.
It's a special pleasure to welcome the participants from India and abroad, students, professionals, faculty, and principals. Jagannath Institute of Education is a part of the distinguished JIMS group of education that has been imparting quality education for close to 3 decades. We are affiliated to the prestigious Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University of Delhi, and we have been running the B.Ed program since 2015. It's a pleasure to have with us our distinguished alumni, Ms. Sonal Singh from New Zealand and Ms. Uzma Ehsan from the United Arab Emirates. May I invite them to share their experiences with you. Ms. Uzma, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Uzma Hassan, and I'm working as a biology teacher with Ministry of Education in United Arab Emirates. And I was student of B.Ed in GIMS 2017-2019 batch. First of all, I would like to mention that my training during the B.Ed course was really helpful, especially the strategies I have learned was practical and helped me to apply wherever it was necessary. And moreover, my teachers were amazing. They was always supporting and helping. So I would like to thank our teacher for being motivation behind us. Thank you so much, our mentors, our teachers, my friends, everyone. And I would like to thank Mr. Nawal Jaggi and Professor Dhananjay for their time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Uzma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
We have Sonal with us. Sonal is from New Zealand presently. She's at New Zealand and she has been a student of the 2015 batch. Ms. Sonal Singh.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Sonal.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction, ma'am. It is an absolute honor to be a part of this talk with some of the most esteemed people in the field of education. I am presently in New Zealand and I teach English over here. Um, I just moved to New Zealand in 2020. If I talk about my experience at Jim's Institute of Education, so every education institution and school makes one learn something, whether it's theory or practical. But one thing that Jim's gave me was a lot of experience that made me not only a good teacher but a better human being, and that's actually the aim of education. Gyms made me question what true education is, and that actually made me push myself into NGO work for 1.5 years before I came to New Zealand. And I got to understand the ground level working of education system in India because of that experience that I had at gyms. So if there's anything that I would like to tell to the future teachers that I personally learned from gyms was that develop scientific temper. If you really want to make your country proud and you want to make a better future for your country, it's important that you develop that scientific temper. And that is what I learned from Jim's Institute of Education, which is helping me at the moment right now in a Western country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sonal. Thank you very much. Before I hand over the mic to Ms. Bhavna, Dr. Bhavna once again, I would just like to mention to you that the repetitive mails that you received yesterday was due to a technical error. So we regret about it. And over to Dr. Bhavna, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Uzma and Sonal, for your valuable feedback. Now I would request our eminent speaker to share his insight on today's topic, transition to online learning. Over to you, sir.
You'll have to give me permission to share the screen.
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay, I'll put it. As what the others have said, is the video clear now?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Fine. I'm surprised, Bhavna, because in this part of the world, we normally don't address people to as sir. So I was a bit surprised that you were talking to me. But anyway, it is a pleasure to see Uzma. I thought she was an Arab, but anyway, couldn't speak my Arabic to her. And Sonal, at least, it's post midnight for her in New Zealand, if she's managed to add in. Now, talking of this topic, transition to online learning, there is something that one has to understand in life that are you going as a reactionary thing or are you leading in any field? And as what Uzma said, it's a matter of strategy to study in gyms. It's a matter of application. And you learn to develop scientific temper. This field has been around for some time. And outside India, it is virtually a part of life. So my talk today is going to be on these topics, an introduction, a small introduction. So what is conventional learning, online learning, advantages, and so on. But the key thing are the question and answers. And this is something that we were exposed to when we started this thing 6 years ago. And now I can say that we are virtually pros in online learning. Now, virtual classrooms are a prominent feature and they have to be a part of your life. And this gradual shift from the current 30%, as you normally see in educational institutions, will increase to more than 50% or 80% in a very short while. Nothing to do with COVID. Times change. If some of you have seen this movie called Patton, on General Patton in World War II, he made a statement that what is a war when you don't see a person in the front, that you fire to someone at a great distance. So this is where the goals come in. The end goal of in-person or online are both the same. You have to achieve something. And with the online courses just doubling to 100 million in February alone, February, mind you, is before the COVID hit the world. It was only confined to China by then. So with all these things going on, people have to forego something called conventional learning, which in India has been there. All over the world, it has been a part that students come to the campus and attend classes in a physical room. Here, the key thing is that the students interact with one another and they discuss face to face with the teachers, or they don't, they just sit there quietly, as I think 60% do. But in demand, it is always due to personal interaction and communication between the students and the teachers that takes the students ahead. And this was something just highlighted by both the speakers prior to me. Their briefs can tell us that students need to be more responsible regarding the exams, regarding their deadlines, and commit to a regular attendance so that they can go ahead in life. I don't know if some of you recall having seen these things called correspondence and postal courses. These have been around in India for quite some time. But is there any one of you who has heard of any correspondence or postal course which has generated exceptional results? If you've not, then let me highlight to you. One of the first courses that came out, which was on correspondence or postal courses, came out sometime in 1980. This was Agarwal classes for engineering or IIT entrance examinations. And the results were remarkable. They had, I think, more than 25 in the top 100 or maybe 40 in the top 100 during that time. So postal courses or correspondence courses are not for people who've not done well in life. They are for people who are serious enough, because at the other end, there are people who are serious to make the content. Online learning or e-learning or distance learning is something similar, but the medium has changed. Medium has changed from face to face to postal, now to internet. Internet is the thing now. We want to shop across the internet, across distances, but we don't want to take it to learning. Colleges are using nowadays learning management systems as a replacement for classes, and they submit online assignments. Discussions are in a forum format, and their convenience is unbelievable. You get the best instructors and leading personnel in the field that can design and teach programs. Here, I'd like to add something that even though you have the best teachers, even on face-to-face, but once you're out of the lecture, the face-to-face has stopped, and it is your memory that works on the lesson. But in online, you have a recording facility available. So you have a flexibility of learning when you want to. And a very great advantage over the conventional learning is that the course presentations are updated regularly. Should there be any change, the instructor can talk to the HOD and he can modify the content, which is very difficult in a paper book. So you learn at your own pace, anywhere, anytime. I asked my daughter when she was studying here in Singapore and she was in a hostel, I said, why do you keep on sleeping in the room till 10 a.m.? Why don't you attend lectures? She said, there's no need to, because we have a good broadband and we can learn at our own pace. The reason being, almost all the teachers in the world, they are not of your native speaking language. The experts can come from Belgium, they can come from China, they can come from Australia, and the English accents may not be something that you can grasp instantly. So you need to learn at your own pace, anywhere at any time. You can learn technical skills along the way also. And since students are not going to the school, there is a saving in commuting, hostel costs, study material, and in terms of space also for the school. And online learning has been a remarkable thing. And I've come across, I've taken feedbacks last 6-7 years, and I've realized students have generally been happy, generally, until unless it's a mathematical course where people prefer to have a face-to-face arrangement. And this excellent learning methodology comes with greater convenience, flexibility, and accessibility. When I started my lectures, I had half of my students who used to be in a transport when they used to be attending lessons. And then they reached the class. So they would have completed everything without having to leave their comfort zone or rush for a class, depending whether it is rain, hail, or sunshine, depending on which weather. In India, you normally don't see hail or rain much. So the challenges that we have in this line, there are always challenges. If there are none, you have not done any achievement as such. Time management is a big thing, and here the onus comes on the students because it imposes on them a certain level of autonomy. It recognizes that they are seniors. It recognizes that they have to take things in their own hand and going through the program at their own speed while meeting the deadlines and the other commitments of their lives. This has now been extended to beyond the university, to now school online exams. So students need to take and map out the week and make sure that there's adequate time for reading and for assignments. This is a particular thing where students take a break. They don't do this reading. And this is the point where they have suffered. I had final exams going on recently. I think it was last month. And some students sent me messages for some queries and I asked them, have you downloaded the textbook? And you'll be surprised. Out of the 5 students I asked, 0 had downloaded the textbook. They relied on the notes that were given online, which are just 50, 100 pages of slides. This is nothing much. So one has to set times in the evening or a full weekend or a mix of both. The rhythm is yours because you're the best judge to find out what works best for you. And the onus or the responsibility comes on the teacher also, remember. I'll come to the teacher's responsibility as we go ahead. But the distractions are many. When you're talking to a computer, you are seeing or some pictures are running around. And you have the liberty to go around and to send text messages, answer emails, chat on Facebook, WhatsApp, watch videos, and so on. Now, you may think that these are just guesses that do happen. When we started our first online session, the college was not sure whether things would work correctly. So they asked students to come to the college and teachers sat in one room, which was me. I was projecting the lesson and the students sat in one room and the lessons were going on. And someone wrote on the chat, who's playing this Korean video? Please stop it. So videos and other things do go on, but over time they have reduced and students have become very serious because it affected their academic performance. So Treat the online course as a real course, and one has as a student to pay attention. And I tell you, the teachers are no far away from this thing. You need to have a consistent workplace wherein you can cut away the noise and other human distractions. I was conducting a lesson last month again. This is an extra lesson, a voluntary one. Remember, online sessions cannot be consistent. You can have added lessons also. And I had a student, her son kept on running in front of the TV camera, her video camera. So another thing, put away your phone and keep it on silent mode. Actively participate in your online courses, because if someone who's giving the course, he's also seeing a screen. So there has to be a two-way reaction. When a teacher talks to the audience, the biggest success he gets is some actions or reactions from the audience. Just by a single nod, his day is made. So students need to actively participate in the online courses. And prior to that, they need to be rested well. They shouldn't be yawning away and sleeping. The main loss in the online session is the social experience. That student, what they miss most is a social experience. And isolation of online learning is a real challenge. So this is where the thing comes down to on the teacher to make it interesting, to make the slides, make the talk more interesting and more personal. As you go ahead, this is the kind of feedback students have given us also, because they want to benefit from the group synergy of a classroom. Group synergy is much more than anything else. So online classes do give you an opportunity to create small sessions in smaller groups, divide the class into, let us say, 5 or 7 groups. They discuss amongst themselves and they come back. All this while the lecture is going on. These are the facilities that are given, and we found it very useful. You organize virtual study groups. You design and plan some level of human interaction outside the class to reinforce the learning. And idea exchanges. Actively participate in virtual classrooms. Idea main thing is keep your active communication with the instructor and other students in the class. Now I'm teaching a few courses which are 6 lecture courses. That means 6 into 3 hours of lectures. In 18 hours or in 6 weeks, the course is finished. And if I tell you my interaction with the students after or during these courses, 200 WhatsApp messages, 50 to 70 emails. If this is not active communication, I don't know what is. And if this kind of a thing comes up, some of the students write to me, sir, we don't belong to your class. We belong to the other lecturer. Now here, when I teach the course, because of the number of students, we've divided the class into 2 or 3 lecturers. So I asked him, why have you come to me, not the other lecturer? The response came in, sir, we learned that you are responsive. I said, a very strange thing. The other person is an expert. Possibly they did not dare ask a question to the instructor. So this fertile ground needs to be created by the instructor for the students. That growth comes in when we create a fertile land. But the students and the teacher both need to spend some time away from the computer and interact with other people. Sitting around seeing a screen can be really unnerving and not so good for your eyes also. Morals have to be boosted. You need to take your sight away and look at something in a distance. It's very good for your eyesight. I can tell you, I have a poor eyesight, but not a bad vision. Normally in e-learning, we've seen that students have their own paces. And this pace cannot be governed. Students are virtually like the 5 fingers of a hand. Someone learns it faster, someone learns a little bit slower, but they come up and they catch you unaware with certain questions, with certain ideas. So when you have material that you can access for 24 hours or 7 days a week, you are always online and questions can be framed by the students and emailed to you. So here I've answered questions at almost 3 a.m. My students have questioned me at 4 a.m. also. So the learners that offer e-learning courseware, some places they call it WBT or the web-based training. Why the acronym? Singapore is an acronym happy place. We use too many of these. Normally, whenever an online course comes in, it can be complemented with supplemental resources. This is an added advantage over the conventional courses. You can dump in material and I tell you, students will listen to it. They will read it, they will see it, and they'll come back to it. But a key thing comes in that the agency that is organizing these classes, they need to ensure that the web server has sufficient capacity so that the learners can access it from any online learning platform. Learners are always free to learn at their own pace, and they have their own paths. And this is something overall I've seen that people have excelled. When you look at a student who's just staring down in the class, having sessions, online, he's a different person. And one has to guide them. We saw this transition of having half our courses online and half face-to-face for the same subject. And then we had it all online. And in this full process, we realized that our assessment on students sometimes turns out to be wrong. But one thing doesn't fail, is that the people who ask questions are the ones who've generally done well. Inquisitiveness or curiosity has always led to better results. So this facilitated or instructor-led teaching gives you wonderful levels of support from the tutors and instructors. And that is why some places it is called collaboration amongst the learners. This, when a curriculum is developed that integrates several elements, activities, it is basically an active and a real life thing. The course is scheduled and led by an instructor or a facilitator. Now, this kind of a course exposes the institution or the examining authority to a different problem also. Because the content, although it can be integrated with the instructors, lecturers, assignments, and collaborative activities, these things have to be seen in light of the examinations where the students will be assessed. Nowadays, courses or lectures that are conducted have an assessment towards the end, and a student needs to do or pass and get almost about 70%, 75% to get a certification. So learners and facilitators or instructors have to develop some level of expertise in communication through email, discussion forums, which are a part of the portal, chats, polls, whiteboards. You can take up a board, draw something, and it really makes life easy for the students. Have audio and video conferencing to communicate or work with each other. And final step, assessment, which is something people think it's a black box. And we had for the first time conducted online examinations. And I went around asking students from different institutions, people who did in India for assessments for American institutions, people who did in America in an American-based institution, like I can give you some example, Carnegie Mellon, or people who did assessments locally. Every college has their own level of security, and that is essential, because without security and without the kind of questions that are set, things do change. So the first level of examination or the assessment that we have is called a pre-class quiz, PCQ, as they say here. It's an online assessment uploaded at the start of the course. So before a student attends the lecture, he's supposed to glance through the lecture notes, attempt 4 or 5 simple multiple choice questions on the lecture notes, and he has to pass them. Till he passes, he's not allowed to attend the lecture, and these marks are graded and they are added to your final score. So it sounds a bit unnerving. It sounds a bit strange for the assessors, for the students, but over time you realize this is just a cakewalk. Then comes in little bit serious stuff, which we have assignments, individual or group assignments, or a combination of both. I have both of them in the same course. So they uploaded at the start of the course, and generally based on lectures. So all students have access to it. And during the online sessions or their own gatherings, they can discuss and write about it. If there are groups to be formed, students form themselves, or if they don't know the others, the lecturer can assist them. And they have a deadline to submit the solved solution. But here the thing comes in is copying. If they copy from another student, this particular thing doesn't go well with an institute. Now, who checks it? It is an online checking called plagiarism, and a score is given. So the first student who writes the answer, he has virtually, let us say, a 0% score. And the second or the 10th student who copies on it, by the time you reach the 50th student, the plagiarism score would have reached 80%. That means he's liable to get penalized. So this is something students have to understand, and teachers have to educate students the correct path of how to answer an open book online exam. Then comes in a final exam. Now, final exam is there. A student is sitting at home. He has the paper, which has a time limit imposed, of course. This is just like a final examination paper, which he opens and he types in a Word file or any system he chooses, Excel file, a combination, and he submits it. Now, students can come in any time in an examination, but the end time is finished. The same goes with an online examination also. But here the main thing comes in is the essential need to have a stable broadband internet, because it's not only accessing the paper, retrieving the paper, but also to upload it. And we normally have a 1% case wherein students are unable to upload because of certain file restrictions. If not, file is not a normal thing. It's basically on the internet restrictions. So since the time limits are there, I always advise the students that to make sure to avoid any unforeseen technical issues, they need to plan and submission of the assignments at least before the cutoff time, 15 to 30 minutes before the cutoff time. Now, a strange thing you will find here, resubmissions are allowed. Within the stipulated time, you can make as many submissions as you can. But the system is going to take in only the latest file. The earlier versions will be rejected. If you have a case that you have multiple files to submit, suppose you have something in Excel, something in PowerPoint and Word, you need to upload all as a part of each resubmission. Again, plagiarism and collusion checks are in place. And we did find 1 out of 100 cases who had done some plagiarism. So students' marks or students' assignments are easily identifiable because they say with the roll number and other things, and very easily it works on. If they submitted late, there are auto marks for deduction for any delays. And the same thing works for assignments also. For every 6 hours of delay, we have certain marks deducted. But here the tricky part comes in. Students' job is done. The assessors have a difficult part. Students are they are just typing a letter sort of a thing. They are seeing the question paper and typing the responses. But it is the assessors who have a problem. Because once the assignments are uploaded within 6 to 8 hours, they are accessible to the assessor, and they can mark it online or they can download it. But if they download it, they cannot upload it. So, but if they mark it online, they can mark it, they can scribble on it and do anything and provide individual marks for each question and so on, which are uploaded for a certain audit. It all depends on your culture, how familiar you are with marking or writing something on the internet. The files are not as simple as Word files, but they are similar to Word files. We also have a case in which an examination paper is set, but there are more than one marker per subject. And this is also possible to be done on an online thing. Wonderfully done. We did that and we had no problems. And marks are uploaded in a very, very clear case. So as I said, plagiarism and collusion work very, very strictly. And an F grade is given liberally if any case is found to be wanting or lack of compliance to the main thing. So tips for the students. I believe there are fewer students here than more organizers. But please set a schedule and work on it. And as you go ahead, you will find that you will have more time in the day. In Singapore, they started online learning in 2003 when we had some sort of a baby COVID that came in that time, which was called SARS. From that time, they had 1 week of online sessions for even primary students. So for us, online students, online marking, online questions are not a new thing. It is a part of our lives. We do that in our workplaces also. We have online and we have offline spaces. So please create something for yourself also. You have online and offline folders for each class and organize and save your time. Things do happen that you may be found having a requirement to accompany a family on some holiday or a cruise. You still have your internet and you can take it with you and do the work or plan it earlier. But I found that people who've delayed stuff, procrastination stalks you and it fights back. And invariably, I have a class in which almost 8% of students don't submit their assignments on time. I keep chasing them, and eventually 1% certainly cannot get the passing marks. So reach out right away, contact your instructors and your classmates. And when you contact them, you get the group synergy. And that is the key to online success. Now, most of the courses online, either you have a defined textbook, or as students go a bit senior in the graduation level or post-graduation level, as I teach some batches of adult students who are doing engineering courses, they are supposed to do their own research on their topics. So online instructors can give you a great foundation, but you have to dig deep. You have to do research on the topic. And this is where I found over the years that students, hardly 4 or 5% of the students do so. You try and enlist your family and friends in what you're doing, and they can help you with the task. I've had students who've got their friends or relatives do some assignments for them overseas, but it all depends on your ethics and their generosity and their technical skills. So I can only suggest to the students, please utilize the resources, download the material, have a good internet connection, and have a handle on the learning tool and submitted assignments, and make sure whom to contact. Remember, these kind of restrictions or constraints do happen with your teachers also. They need to get updated on the resources also. They need to download material, and they need to answer your questions really, really fast, because we have a turnaround time for answering questions to students. Once a student gives, within a day or within few hours, we have set ourselves a target to answer questions. Make sure that we respect the student's time. I think I'm through with this thing, but the most interesting part is now question and answers. I have a few other statistics and other things, but I may not talk on that. Q&A are the main things. If the moderator can take over from me. Really, really fast, because we have a turnaround time for answering questions. Once a student gives,
Yes, now I would
you ask me,
invite Ms. Neha Goyal to moderate question and answer round.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, respected.
with this thing, the most interesting part is now question and answers. I have few other statistics and other things, but I may not talk on that. Q&A are the main things.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for an enlightening session. Some participants want to know about the lack of resources, accessibility, and technical knowledge. How can we rectify that, sir?
Sorry, I couldn't hear it. Just a minute. Could you speak a bit louder, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Some participants want to know about the lack of resources, accessibility, and technical knowledge on the part of learners.
That will never be the case, ma'am, because it is a part of the instructor to have a glossary and that lead the students to the material. There is no dearth of material available, but it is an institution's subject or its course content. They have to be prepared and uploaded in the system in a form of a ebook and then supplemented by such slides as I had shown.
Okay, thank you, sir. So another concern is, yes, sir. Another concern is about the non-responsiveness on the part of the students. Uh, yeah.
You can take a horse to a well, but you can't make him drink. Students will always be shy. My expectation is only 30-40% of the students will come back to you. You have to create a fertile ground for them to ask questions. And if I'm giving you this example of the last 4 years, 200, 250 SMSs and 100 plus emails on questions, I think a fertile ground has been created.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, and so what about assessment, online assessment? Any, reliable way of doing that?
You see, these are simply the same assignments which are given to students in a hard copy that you have online. Like PCQ is something you can ignore. They carry a very small weightage in our course, that is about 5 or 6%. 30% of the marks are allocated to the assignments, which I mentioned here, which are the group assignments and the others. So they are very well done by students, and the general averages that run around are about 70%, irrespective mathematical course or a theoretical course, because they have a synergy that they are talking to other students and they get it done well. See, the questions that are set are not directly accessible in the notes. It's not something that you write, okay, please write about Mahatma Gandhi, about his life in South Africa. No. You twist it up to a certain fashion. What positive impact did Mahatma Gandhi have on the lives of South Africans during his stay? So that twisting makes a lot of difference, and this goes in the timed online assignment. I have walked around face-to-face examination halls, handing over tissue papers to 45 of my students, or 85, sorry. The students were crying. I don't know if you've seen that, ma'am. Adults crying when they see the question paper. The same thing comes here. We have to change a mindset on the questions. And this has been in practice in India for a long time. We had it in IIT Delhi in the 80s. A mindset needs to change from the teachers, how we need to set the exam. And that is how you will be able to teach the students.
Excellent. Is there any software available online for assessment? Another participant wants to know.
These are humanly connected things. There is no software as such.
Right,
the software is for the PCQs only. That is a standard for any place.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you, sir. I guess that's it for the question answer. And
Ma'am, Bhavna ma'am, would you like to take over?
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable expertise. I'm sure we all gained valuable insight on the topic. Thank you so much, sir.
Before I end, I'd just like to ask
Yeah,
one thing. I like to say something.
yes.
When people go to a swimming pool, the learners, they sit outside and they're generally afraid of entering the swimming pool with the fear that they will drown. But there are people who are already swimming and they are enjoying themselves. Online is just like that. The fear has to be overcome. And once the fear is gone, life becomes very enjoyable. You don't need to run around 2 hours to attend a class. That's all I say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Professor Dhananjay Joshi, for enlightening us with his views on transition of education in such challenging times. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bhavna. First of all, I must congratulate the whole GIMS team under the able leadership of Dr. Rekha Mahajan. I extremely happy to be the part of this international webinar, and especially I'm very much impressed with Naval Jaggiji, really a fountain of knowledge. He has given so many beautiful examples, which I was also noting in my diary. I am extremely thankful to all other colleagues of James. Those are here in this endemic period, in this webinar. Bhavna, Joshi, and all the team members of James team. My submission to all of you is this: as Sir was saying, a swimmer knows the enjoyment of swimming. And once you are the out of the pool, you can only imagine how was the depth, how can swim or not, what are the techniques. So unless and until we are not accepting the challenge, and this challenge has created for us, because as a time, when we were grown up, we were all born up before, at my time in 80s or 70s, the generation was chalk and talk. There was a kind of a time when we have guru-centered education. That is our ancient way of teaching. When Guru Devo Brahma, Guru Parameshwaram, Guru Sakshat Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Nama, we used to chant like this. A Guru was absolute. That was our system, Upanishadic system. The Guru is the only source of knowledge. But now students have changed the definition. The technology has changed the definition. My student says, Guru Google do khade kaake lakhon paye. Balihari Google aapko jis sab kuch diyo bataye. We were the student who said, Guru Govind do khade kaake lago paye. Because for us, the Guru is the only center of knowledge. We were at that time was so much. No, I'm not saying the teacher has not the that kind of aura. We are still that kind of aura still, but in current situation, when you cannot meet physically, when you cannot teach manually, what is the way out? When there is a time came in colonial time, they had came with other kind of innovation. The Guru centered to they shifted to curriculum centered or the book centered education. So we have been governed by all our policies and all till 2020 with this with this old phenomena of curriculum centered or the book centered. The curriculum is the Bible. It was the only sacred thing. We are not deviating from the books. Whatever is written in the book, whatever is written in the curriculum, that is the final word. That is the Bible, Gita, or Quran for us. But now, my dear friends, the time has been changed. This time, I think this Sonakshi, you please mute yourself. It is creating a lot of trouble, Sonakshi Rai. So I'm trying to deliver. What I'm trying to deliver here, that this period has actually is a not a, it's a transition period. Is actually faced by the whole world. We have seen the whole world is in quarantine. Whole world in isolation. But this isolation has never been. I think it's a new phenomenon. If you trace 1665 when the bubonic plague was spread it in the whole and in UK, In that time, we got a man called Isaac Newton, who has given the theory of gravity. He has given the concept of gravitational force. His father was died due to this bubonic plague, and that man was being reared up by the grandmother. And one day he was in his courtyard. In his he was just sitting under that apple tree, and the whole story you know about that. And he got the idea. Before that, there were so many people we also see, but why this concept has been given by Newton? Why the concept of relativity has given by the Einstein, E is equal to mc square? Because they think differently. So I remember Shiv Kheda, who is one of the motivational teacher in India, who said winners thinks winners don't do things. They think differently. They don't do other way. They just have the innovative ideas. They think differently. So when you think differently, APJ Abdul Kalam has thought differently, and he has given 5 missiles to India. A man who born in a very southern area, in a very in a very remote Rameshwaram, has touched the sky, and he has given the nuclear energy. He has given the India a nuclear power. The people, those are the people, those are the persons which are being worshipped. And I feel that the message given by this story of our whole novel Jaggi, and I feel that this curriculum centered, guru centered, to now we are coming to digital centered education. There were some revolutions came. First revolution came after Renaissance. It is called industrialization, industrial revolution. When the era of industrial revolution came in India, we have seen many new revolution. We have seen in 1964 when MS Swaminathan was the leading agriculture scientist, the Green Revolution. And in education, we have seen Daulat Singh Kothari's leadership, National Education Commission parallelly going on. So the Green Commission, the Green Revolution, and before that the Industrial Revolution, and after that Green, we have seen the Varghese Kurian has given us the White Revolution, and now this 20th century is the century of the very buzzword, and that buzzword is the technical revolution or the digital revolution. This generation in which the students are nowadays they are taking, which they are reading. My own students, my own family, I've seen my daughter, my son, they are more smart in using the gadgets because this generation is gadget friendly. My dear friends, we teacher are somewhere still have to be march on. We have to be we have to pace with this technology. Otherwise, we will weed out. That's the message which I'd like to deliver. And for that sake, University School of Education, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, which is an umbrella and under which GIMS is also one of the prestigious institutions, we are striving our best. When this lockdown from 22nd of March has been declared by Government of India, in the very next month, we have started the innovative practices. And my students salute to them. They came up with the idea, sir, why don't have, other than the usual online classes via Zoom or via WebEx or Google Meet, we have to do something more important. Then we have started the emotional well-being, one full week workshop for them. Because in this period, the students are claiming, some of the students are, they cannot move to out of their home. They cannot go to far reaching places in northern and southern India because of this lockdown. They called me, sir, we are feeling a kind of anxiety. I said, beta, this is not a time of anxiety. ये कुछ बड़ा करने का समय है. ये समय अपने अंदर जाने का है, बाहर जाने का नहीं. कुछ नई सोच को पैदा करने का है. हो सकता है कुछ रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर हमें मिल जाएं, जिन्होंने गीतांजलि में देश को नोबेल पुरस्कार दिलवाया. हो सकता है कुछ हरगोविंद खुराना हमें मिल जाए, जिन्होंने फिजिक्स में देश को सम्मान, कोई सीवी रमन मिल जाए. मैंने कहा इसको तुम अपने अंदर से डिप्रेशन मत लो. They said, sir, why not you organize some kind of a workshop for us? We have immediately taken up the idea, and 1 week psychological workshop on emotional and mental well-being in emotional well-being in this pandemic era. And there are many psychologists, educationists like Naval Jaggi. There are so many educationists came. We boost up their morale. I said them, this is the time of learning. Then we have organized by Heal Soul of India. Soul India is a very big organization. Dr. Dhirendra Huria came, and he has given a very beautiful workshop on mental and emotional well-being. Then Art of Living people came, we have 1 week exercise with them also. Then we had organized a faculty development program. Now the part goes for not the student. Our faculty is still equally charged. Otherwise, the faculty is not motivated unless and until they are not charged. How can they will deliver the best? This is not the time for only thinking ourselves. This is the time to thinking for the whole universe. This is the time to thinking of the whole globe, because everybody is now being is waiting how this pandemic will gone, because this is kind of a phenomena when world has been witnessed first time, when the whole world is suffering with this time. So it's under kind of a humanity is under kind of a threat. So who can work? The teachers are playing a very, very constructive work. The libraries are banned, the schools and colleges are shut down, but the teachers are working from their home. They are delivering the lecture, preparing the notes. I have seen that my daughter's teachers they are taking everything class. They are doing every kind of noble ideas, online examination, everything. Some of the teachers saying, sir, online कैसे हो सकता है? मैंने कहा जब ऑफलाइन हो सकता है तो ऑनलाइन भी हो सकता है. हमें समय के साथ अपने को बदलना होगा, क्योंकि समय सब कुछ सिखाता है. जो समय के साथ नहीं चलता, समय उन्हें बहा के ले जाता है. तो अपने को समय के साथ चलना है. यही सबसे बड़ा संदेश है इस समय का, जो नवल जग्गी जी ने दिया. इसी के साथ हमने we have started the Facebook live lecture because our faculty are sitting at home. They are saying, sir, we should do something. We have launched one channel, YouTube channel, official YouTube channel, which has been inaugurated by Director NCRT Professor Rishikesh Senapati ji. Then we have Facebook live lecture series inaugurated by our Honorable Worthy Vice Chancellor Padam Shri Professor Mahesh Verma ji. They all are guiding us. And remember that this generation is one step ahead than us. Don't take them that they are not there. Sometimes we used to say that tumhe kuch nahi aata. In our generation, in my generation especially, Jaggi ji, when we were the PhD student, हमारी generation को कहा जाता था hard working. ये हार्ड वर्किंग है. अगर हमारे टीचर्स ये कह देते थे हार्ड वर्किंग बच्चा है, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता था. पर ये जनरेशन है, ये हार्ड वर्किंग नहीं है, ये स्मार्ट वर्किंग है. हम भाग के जाते थे. We used to go to library, through traveling via, there was no metros, on via buses only, and via all auto and all self-driven. And we used to get data and all kind of NCRT, NUPA, and all other Indian good universities. We used to take their membership. We completed our, research after, full of, hard work. So my guide used to say, you're a very, very hard working man. But now I used to tell my students, they are not hardworking. Though they can say they are hardworking, but they are very smart working. They know how to get the things done. They know how to use the technology. But my dear student, there is some kind of which I am pointing here. Some, every kind of story, there is some moral of the story. And this moral of the story is there is some kind of drawbacks also. There is some kind of lessons also technology. टेक्नोलॉजी को हमें अपने ऊपर इतना हावी नहीं होने देना कि हम ह्यूमैनिटी को भूल जाएं. आज मैंने देखा कि you have 5,000 friends in your Facebook, but in actual life you do not have a single friend who can come and help you. That is the time of testing your friends. तो इतना विजुअल वर्ल्ड में नहीं रहना, इतना ज्यादा भी टेक्नोलॉजी से अपने को कैद नहीं करना कि हम किसी को फोन करना भी भूल जाएं, हम किसी से बातचीत करना भी छोड़ दें, क्योंकि हम इतने रिलाय हो गए हैं. हमने हर चीज इतनी ऑटोमेशन मोड पे ले ली, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, रोबोटिक्स, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स आर कमिंग. The gist of emotions, the gist of bonding, which our older generation was having, which our parents were having, which our grandparents were having, now it is losing. This generation is a generation of copy paste. This generation is a generation use and throw. The relationship was also use and throw. This is not the good way. Our Indian culture is a very sacred culture of the world. That's why we are worshipped in the whole world. The best doctors in America is an Indian. In the whole world, New Zealand, Singapore, the Indians are leading their economy. They are the best scientists. They are the best engineers. So we have given to the world what? We have given them knowledge. The knowledge is the biggest virtue. ज्ञानम मनुजस्य तृतीय नेत्रम. जो ज्ञान होता है वो मनुष्य का तृतीय नेत्र होता है. तो हमें अपने बच्चों को ये भी बताना है कि टेक्नोलॉजी को अपने साथ लेके चलना है, पर टेक्नोलॉजी को गुलाम नहीं, अपना मालिक नहीं बनाना. टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे यूज करना है, एज ए टीचिंग एड यूज करना है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं उसके साइड इफेक्ट्स भी बताने हैं। आज जब मैं देखता हूँ 3 आवर्स बच्चे, 4 आवर्स बच्चे ऑनलाइन क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं वो उसके साथ साथ कुछ पैरेलल और भी बहुत तरीके की टेक्नोलॉजी का आज अगर आप देखें तो कितना मिसयूज होता है। बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी है जो सेंसर्ड होती थी, अब वो पब्लिक डोमेन में आ गई हैं। रिलेशनशिप्स के ऊपर मैंने बता दिया, आपस के रिलेशंस के ऊपर भी बता दिया कि सब कुछ आज हम अपना ऑनलाइन इतना डिपेंडेंट हो गए हैं कि हमें अपने स्पाउस से बात करने का समय नहीं है, हम अपने पेरेंट्स से बात नहीं करना चाहते। हर बच्चा अपने कमरे में, अपने बेडरूम में बैठ करके अपने लैपटॉप में लगा हुआ है, कोई किसी का हाल समाचार भी नहीं पूछता है। तो मैं यहाँ ये संदेश देना चाहता हूँ कि टेक्नोलॉजी को आपने अपनी लर्निंग का एड बनाना है, और अपनी जीवन के अंदर आज भी जो हम अपने अपने संबंधों की गर्मी से जो हम पैदा कर सकते हैं वो नहीं हो सकता। So my dear friend, the technology driven society is very, very important, but human values are very important. One very beautiful poet has said, he has said सभी कुछ हो रहा है इस तरक्की के जमाने में, मगर ये क्या गजब है आदमी इंसान नहीं होता। We are touching moon, we are touching to Jupiter, we are going to Mars, everything we are doing, we are producing technocrats, industrialists, but whether we are able to produce good human beings, whether we are producing the empathetic human beings, those are feeling the pain of the neighbors, when the neighbors are crying but we are not going out, this is the time, is a testing time. I know Corona has maintained the social distancing, but emotional distancing should not be come in between. This is my message to you. You should be emotionally and be humane. As Mahatma Gandhi has also said in 3H education. What is the real education? Education starts from head. It must goes to heart and it should develop our hand. This is 3H education. कि अच्छी शिक्षा वो है जो मस्तिष्क से निकल के, हृदय से निकल के हाथों तक जाए। Our education nowadays confined only and only it's making a mechanical robots. Only and making money is not the soul of education. Unless and until you are not emotionally well-being, you are not spiritually inclined, you are not fit for the society. And you see, if you are not a balanced personality, if you are not a good human being, everything is secondary. So for a teacher at least, you should feel the pain of your student, because wherever he knows where his shoe is pinching, you should know where is the pain of your student. Be their mentor. If you are not feeling their pain, only guiding them, it is not sufficient. Ask them. If they are in trauma, if they are asking a question, don't close your heart, don't close your eyes. Always welcome them, because they will learn this thing from you. Don't be so mechanical. Mechanical well-being, mechanic or machines only operated by the human beings only. They are for our benefit. They are not our masters. So my thing, this webinar has been a very wonderful, innovative idea that how we can use this technology, how the technology could be more beneficial in this pandemic time, because the next 5 or 6 months or maybe the next 1 year I could not comment on it, because this corona until its antidote is not coming, the vaccine has not been invented. We have to follow this social distancing, the classroom sizes, the classroom strength, we cannot call them, because it could be a pandemic, it could be an epidemic for them also. So this is the learning time, and I feel that with the help of this all usable technology, the digital revolution, we should incline towards it. We should not feel afraid. We should use it. Some of the time teacher used to say, "अब 60 साल के हो गए, अब क्या हम क्या learn करेंगे? अब तो old parrots cannot learn." This is kind of a phenomena. No, my dear friends, learning has no age. वो अमिताभ बच्चन कहते हैं, सीखना ही जिंदगी है। हम जब तक सीखेंगे नहीं, हम आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे। और जो लाइफ में चैलेंज लेके चलता है, वही आगे कुछ बनता है। जब तक सोना नहीं जलता, वो कुंदन नहीं बनता। जब तक हीरे की को उसकी कटाई नहीं होती, वो डायमंड की शेप में नहीं आता। तो टीचर को तो पूरी लाइफ सीखना चाहिए। A good teacher is like a student, as Rabindranath Tagore also said. You should be a good learner. That's why you should learn always. You learn from your mistakes. If you are not learning, you will be weed out. आप समय के से हटा दिए जाएंगे। और ये जो समय है, ये हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाने के लिए समय है। हमारे साथ बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हैं। I think this message should go on. You should learn from your mistakes, reflect, develop your hobbies, write good blog, write good poetry, everything you should learn. Give time to your parents, give time to your family, your spouse, to your kids, because the values which will you inculcate, that will make them a good human being. जो आज आप बोएंगे, वही कल फसल आप काटेंगे। तो जितना समय आज आप सीखने पे लगाते हैं, the unless and until you'll not devote the time and you know, unless and until you'll not give your 100%, the result will not come out. So this is the best time to read more. You have to read from online magazines. You have to read by the Wikipedia or the Questpedia. There are open sites, your OER, open educational resources, plenty of things. You need not to go anywhere, but at least 4 to 5 hours daily devote for a student and your self learning. And because of we used to say in ancient time, Shravana, Manan, Nidyasan. This is the time of Nidyasan. What does it mean, Nidyasan? It is the time of reflection. You have to reflect what you have gained, and that is the time, best time to acquire new knowledge. Because unless and until you will not acquire the new knowledge, unless and until you will not acquire the new learning techniques, you cannot be delivered. And this generation is very positive generation. This generation is very smart generation, and teachers has to be very smart and with human touch. So I'm talking about the blended learning, which talks about modernity as well as combination of traditionality. Our feet should be on the ground only. Think locally, think globally and act locally. As our prime minister also said, we should be vocal towards local. आपकी घर की खिड़कियां खुली होनी चाहिए, दरवाजे नहीं, ताकि बासी हवा आए और बाहर चली जाए. तो यही मैसेज के साथ I feel that we have to think globally but act locally. What are our needs? What are our priorities? We are 1.35 billion people living in this country. What are priorities? Priorities could be differ, but our approach should be very positive, and we should welcome this technological move. We should learn new phenomena. Whether you are from any background, technology is a boon for us, but it should be on a constructive note. So I'm talking about to my own would-be teacher, those are here, my fellow colleagues, that we should adopt it, because adapting and assimilation is the only funda of this time. If you not change yourself, if you not overcome with this thing, you cannot be a successful teacher. And a successful teacher should be a good learner always. So with these words, I again congratulate you. I again thanks to Naval Jaggi ji for sharing his views very beautifully, and all your alumni from Sonal Singh from New Zealand, or Uzma from Saudi Arabia. They have given a beautiful, insight about them, and we all working towards a word is one beautiful family, which we used to say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Let that spirit of togetherness, that the spirit of oneness should be continue. You are our march. You are taken our torch. You are a baton to the whole world, and our alma maters are always feel proud of you. Do best in your life wherever you are. So with these words, I again thank you to one and all, to organizers of gyms. Over to Dr. Bhavna. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such an enriching and motivational address. It was really motivating. It was a pleasure listening to you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Professor Rekha Mahajan, Principal, Jagannath Institute of Education, to give vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhavna. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for making today's webinar on transition to online learning ways ahead a great success. Heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Professor Dhananjay Joshi ji, for his benign presence and valuable inputs on online education. He's mentioned about the initiatives at Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University that have been taken up. The students have admired when you've told them that smart working and empathy. They've taken it very well, and the chat box is also full of all the admiration for you, sir. I would also like to thank Mr. Naval Jaggi for his excellent performance and making the webinar interesting and very meaningful for all the participants. The participants have given in the inputs, and they've mentioned it has been excellent and a very informative session, Mr. Naval Jaggi. I would like to express my gratitude to the chairman of GYMS Group, Dr. Amit Gupta ji, for his constant support and encouragement in our educational endeavors. My gratitude to our campus director, Dr. R.K. Raghuvanshi ji, for his valuable guidance and advices always. Heartfelt thanks to all our participants from India and abroad, all students, faculty, professionals, and principals present here. We are confident that all of you would have gained a new perspective from the webinar that we have attended today. In end, I would like to thank my coordinators, Dr. Bhavna Joshi and Ms. Neha Goel, for the efforts in making this webinar a great success. Once again, thank you all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope this was a very fruitful session for all of us. Hope to meet you all again. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank
Stay home, stay safe. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Thank you very much to one
Thank you,
and
sir.
all.
Thank you. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you.